I said to myself, today I will meet him. The words felt strange on my tongue, as if speaking them made the impossible real, and yet I knew, deep in my bones, I knew. Switzerland, 1913, my study in Kusnacht. The lake outside was calm, too calm. Inside, books lined the walls, floor to ceiling. Psychology, mythology, alchemy, the occult. I had spent years studying the human mind, but that day I would discover something else, something ancient. I was alone. My wife and children were away. The house breathed with emptiness. I sat at my desk, pen in hand, paper before me, and I waited. Not for a patient, not for a colleague, for something I could not name. The technique I had developed, I called it active imagination, a descent into the unconscious, a conversation with the shadows that live beneath thought. But that day, I would go deeper than ever before. So deep, I wasn't sure I would return. I closed my eyes. Silence. The kind that presses against your ears. I began to descend. In my mind, I saw stone steps spiraling downward, rough-hewn, ancient. I followed them down, down, into darkness that felt alive. My heart pounded, my breath shortened, and then I reached the bottom, a cavern, vast, endless. The walls glowed with a faint red light like embers cooling after a fire. And there in the center, a figure stood waiting. He was tall, not monstrous, not grotesque, almost beautiful in a way that made my skin crawl. His face shifted, sometimes young, sometimes old, sometimes neither. His eyes were the color of molten gold, and when he looked at me, I felt seen in a way I had never experienced before. He smiled. "Carl," he said. His voice was not harsh. It was warm, almost kind. "You've been expecting me." I tried to speak, but my throat was dry. Finally, I managed, "Who are you?" He laughed softly. "You know who I am. You've written about me, studied me, analyzed me in your patient's dreams, but you've never truly met me until now." I felt my legs weaken. I wanted to run, to wake up, to end this experiment, but something held me there. Curiosity, or perhaps something darker. "You are the devil," I whispered. "Is that what you call me?" He stepped closer. "I am Lucifer. I am the shadow. I am everything you refuse to see in yourself. But I am not your enemy, Carl. I am your teacher." The air grew thick. I could smell sulfur, or perhaps it was only my fear taking form. I forced myself to stand straight, to meet his gaze. "What do you want from me?" He circled me slowly, studying me like a specimen. "Want? I want nothing. But you, Carl, you want everything. You want to understand the human soul. You want to heal the sick mind. You want to be remembered. But do you know what stands between you and that understanding? What?" He stopped directly in front of me. "You." The word hit me like a fist. I stumbled back. "You study darkness in others," he continued, "but you refuse to face your own. You write about the shadow, but you keep yours locked away, pretending it doesn't exist. How can you heal anyone when you cannot face yourself?" I felt anger rising. I have faced myself. I have analyzed my dreams, my thoughts, my... Analysis is not facing, Carl. It is hiding behind words. Naming the monster does not mean you've looked it in the eye. Silence fell between us, heavy, suffocating. He was right. I knew he was right. "Show me," I said, my voice barely audible. "Show me what I refuse to see." His smile widened, but there was no cruelty in it, only certainty. "As you wish." The cavern dissolved. I stood in my childhood home in Switzerland, but it was wrong, twisted. The walls bled darkness, the furniture breathed, and there in the corner I saw myself as a boy, small, frightened, alone. "Your father," the devil whispered in my ear, "was a pastor, a man of God, but you never believed, did you?" I watched the child version of myself praying, tears streaming down his face, begging for faith that would not come. "You felt abandoned by God. You felt broken. So you created your own gods. Psychology became your religion. The unconscious became your heaven and hell." The scene shifted. Now I stood in my study again, but this time I saw myself with patience. I saw how I judged them, how I felt superior, how beneath my compassion lived contempt. I saw the times I used my knowledge as a weapon, the moments I manipulated conversations to prove my theories right. I saw my pride, my arrogance, my hunger for recognition. "Stop," I gasped. "Please, stop." But he didn't stop. I saw my betrayals, the lies I told myself, the people I hurt, while convincing myself it was for their own good. I saw how I had built a fortress of intellect around my heart, keeping everyone at a distance while preaching about connection. I fell to my knees. "This," the devil said softly, is your shadow. This is what you hide from the world, from yourself. Tears burned my eyes. My chest felt crushed. I wanted to disappear, to cease existing. Why? I choked out. Why are you showing me this? He knelt beside me, and when he spoke, his voice was gentle. Because you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. The shadow is not evil, Carl. It simply is. It is the part of you that you deny, and what you deny grows stronger in the dark. I am not here to destroy you. I am here to integrate you. I looked up at him. Integrate? Light and dark, good and evil, conscious and unconscious. They are not separate. They are one. God and devil, we are two faces of the same truth. You cannot have one without the other. The work you will do, the work that will define your life, is teaching humanity this very lesson. The cavern returned, but now it felt different, less threatening, almost sacred. I stood slowly, wiping my face. If you are not evil, then what are you? He regarded me with those golden eyes. I am the necessary opposition. I am the question that forces you to find your answer. Without me, there is no growth, no transformation, no individuation. I am the fire that burns away what you think you are, so you can discover who you truly are. Something shifted inside me. A weight I didn't know I was carrying began to lift. The patients who come to you, he continued, they are not sick because they are weak. They are sick because they are divided. They fight their shadow, trying to be only good, only light. But wholeness requires embracing both. You must teach them this. How? I asked. How do I teach them to face what terrifies them? By showing them you have faced it yourself. By admitting you are not the enlightened master, but a fellow traveler in darkness. Humility, Carl, that is the key. The moment you stop playing God, you begin to understand God. I thought of Freud, my former mentor and friend, our bitter separation. I had seen him as wrong, as trapped in his theories, but perhaps I was no different. Freud, I said aloud. The devil nodded. You judge him for his rigidity, yet you cling to your own ideas just as tightly. You both seek truth, but you mistake your maps for the territory. Let go, Carl. Stop trying to control the unconscious. Let it speak to you without forcing it into your theories. The walls of the cavern began to fade. Light seeped through cracks in the stone. Is this goodbye? I asked. No, he said. I am always with you. In every doubt, every failure, every moment you face what you fear. I am not your enemy, Carl. I am your companion on the path to wholeness. He reached out his hand. I hesitated, then took it. His grip was warm, human. Remember this, he said. The greatest danger is not the shadow itself, but the refusal to acknowledge it. When you deny your darkness, it acts through you unconsciously. But when you face it, when you integrate it, you become whole. That is individuation. That is the great work. The light grew brighter, blinding. One more thing, his voice echoed as the vision dissolved. Tell them the truth. Tell them that God and devil are within them both, and they must choose, moment by moment, which one they feed. That is free will. That is the gift and the burden of consciousness. I opened my eyes. I was back in my study. The sun had set. Hours had passed, though it felt like only minutes. My hand was cramped from gripping the pen. On the paper before me, I had written pages upon pages, words I did not remember writing. I stood, legs shaking, and walked to the window. The lake was dark now, reflecting stars. I felt different, lighter, clearer. That night, I began the work that would consume the rest of my life. I wrote about the shadow, about integration, about the journey toward wholeness. I called it individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are by embracing all that you are, light and dark together. My patience changed. No longer did I see them as broken souls to be fixed. I saw them as mirrors, reflecting fragments of the universal human struggle. And in healing them, I continued to heal myself. Years later, I wrote what I called the Red Book. In it, I documented my descent into the unconscious, my conversations with figures that dwelt there. But I never published it. I knew the world was not ready, but I included him, the devil, though I gave him other names, the shadow, the dark one, the adversary. I wrote about how he taught me the most important lesson of my life, that wholeness requires darkness, that you cannot be truly good without acknowledging your capacity for evil. That integration, not perfection, is the goal. Some called me mad. Some said I had lost my way, but I knew the truth. I had found my way by getting lost, by descending into hell and returning transformed. People ask me, do you believe in the devil? I smile. The devil is real, but not as a being separate from you. He lives in your shadow, in everything you refuse to see about yourself, and until you face him, you will never be free. They ask, did you really speak to him? Yes, I say, and he spoke back. And what he told me changed everything. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was not convincing the world he didn't exist. It was convincing us that we are only light, only good, only conscious. The real devil is the lie we tell ourselves that we have no darkness, but I learned the truth. We are whole, light and shadow, God and devil, conscious and unconscious. And when we stop fighting ourselves, when we stop denying half of who we are, we become truly free. That is what he taught me. That is what I pass on to you. The devil is not your enemy. He is your teacher. And the lesson is always the same. Know thyself, all of thyself. Only then can you become who you were meant to be. I am old now, my time is short, but I leave behind this truth. Face your shadow, speak to your devil, do not run from what frightens you within. That is where your power lives, that is where your freedom waits. And when you finally meet him, as I did that day in 1913, you will understand. He is not there to destroy you, he is there to make you whole.